Hey guys, welcome back. So today I want to talk really quickly about a product that will make your long-range shooting experiences much more pleasant, and that is a downrange target camera. This camera that I have right here was sent to us by Scheels. They're a great outdoor company. If you haven't checked them out, please do so. And this is a product that they carry. This is called the LongShot. And the LongShot is, in this particular case, a camera that is all self-contained in this little bag I'm going to show you here in a moment that will allow you to set a camera up downrange and give you a crystal clear image of your target out to 300 yards with this particular model. Now they have another model that can extend that range to a mile or more, and that one costs considerably more. This one would be the more affordable option, and out here at the Mac range, 300 yards is about as far as we typically shoot. So what does a target camera look like? Well, let me show you guys. When you open it up, you're going to have your owner's manual, a little card with a QR code that'll help you get your application for your Android or iOS device. You have a little tiny tripod, cute little guy, a little level on it, a charger for the camera. Camera has a self-contained battery, and here's your camera. So this little guy, you just set it up downrange, you aim it at your target, and then it's going to, in real time, stream the image back to either your phone or to your iPad or similar device. Again, keeping in mind it's compatible with Android or iOS. To set it up, it's super simple. So you have your little tripod here. This is the max elevation you're going to get out of your tripod. You can extend the little legs out to about that far to give you an idea. But you don't need to set this up really high. The whole point of it is it needs to set under the target and look up at it. And you'll typically, if you want to be safe, so you don't actually shoot your camera, set it off to one side or the other of the target so that you have a clear line of shooting at the target without necessarily putting the camera at risk. All right, so then your little camera on the bottom, this is where the tripod is going to screw in right here. This is where the port for your wall charger is going to go right there. This is your battery level indicator and your power switch. Okay, when I turn the power switch on, you can see it light up. It's telling me what my battery status is and the fact that the unit is on. Just screw the base into the camera. Probably should have folded the legs to do this. That's pretty simple to do. All right, and so once you get it all set up, now you have an adjustment here. You can see the little ball, right? You can turn it and you can adjust the camera all different angles so it articulates quite nicely. And again, this turns. So you can get this kind of aimed at the target itself. And then for additional adjustment, you have the ability to move the lens of the camera. It's on like a little ball mount in here. So you can easily line it up. Now, you can go down range, obviously, with your phone or your iPad and line everything up and have your device right there with you. You don't have to have somebody back on the cell phone saying, move it left, move it right. Just take it all down range with you. When you come back, there are no repeaters, there are no antennas to set up, there's nothing that's required. And we are even using it inside of a structure and still getting a crystal clear image at 100 yards with the unit. Over here on the side, kind of some status indicators. It does operate on Wi-Fi. And so when you go to set it up with your device, basically you turn this unit on, go into your phone, for example, go into your settings, look at your Wi-Fi. You'll see this unit pop up as an available Wi-Fi network, connect to its network, put in the password, which is just LongShot, and then boom, you're connected to your camera until you turn it off and have to do everything all over again. So how does this little system work and what does it look like? Well, let's take the camera down range, let's set it up, put up some paper targets. We're going to shoot at 100 yards and I'll show you how the system works and give you an idea of the optical clarity that this system offers, keeping in mind that what you see at 100 yards is the same thing that you're going to see at 300 yards because the camera is sitting closer to the target. You're not sitting all the way back with a spotting scope. You can install the application onto either a iOS device like my iPad here, or you can install it on an Android device. So they have applications for both. The functionality is just a little bit different, but it'll give you the same results. In essence, I'm not going to go into real depth into all the functionality of the application, but basically you can record still images and you record video images. The video is going to be a little bit choppy, maybe 10 frames per second or so, but the resolution is really high. I'm going to go ahead and hit record on this. And so now it's recording. Now, as the shots come in, I can mark the shots simply by touching the screen. I can turn that functionality on or off. I can also zoom in, and the movement you're seeing is the wind blowing the target downrange. That gives you an idea of what the refresh rate is, how quickly it's working. It is working on a Wi-Fi signal. This particular model is good to 300 yards. They have other models that are good to a mile or more, but that requires a repeater. This is our most affordable version, and 300 yards, that's about all we have here at the Mac range. This is set up at 100 yards. So I'm going to take my first few shots with my Daniel Defense Rifle at this top left corner. And again, we're recording. We're going to be using some of the new AAC ammunition. This is from Palmetto State Armory. They own the AAC brand. This is some of their 77 grain stuff that we got to play with when we were out at their facilities. And we're going to see for the first time how well it shoots out of my Daniel Defense. On top of my Daniel Defense, I do have a Primary Arms Athena optic. And this is, it goes up to 18 power, and it's a 3 to 18 power. And I'm going to probably run it right around 14 power or so, probably a little less. All right, so we're going to load 10 rounds. Don't look, everybody. I'm loading the gun. All right. And let me throw some ears on here really quick. And we'll just take 5 shots at that top left target. All right. Okay, so you can see where my first shot went, and second and third and fourth and fifth down here. All right, so looks like if I'm going to shoot this 77 grain ammo, I'm going to have to make a little bit of adjustment. We do have some wind down there, so we're going to come right. Now the other thing you can do is have it measure group size and things like that. That's all part of the functionality of the application if you want to set all that up. This is my M40A5-ish clone. It's by no means correct, but it's about as close as you can get without spending a lot of money. This is just some 147 grain ball from Norma, and Norma did supply the ammunition free of charge to the channel. I want to thank them for doing that. Again, this is just ball, guys. Nothing special. Let's see if it does what it's done for us in the past. I'm going to go ahead head over here to the right target. And we will be recording through a spotting scope. So you're going to see with the target camera that's downrange, the resolution, and the abilities of it as compared to a camera that's on an actual spotting scope and what we can see through the spotting scope. All right, so let's go ahead and charge up that first round. Hopefully I left this thing zeroed for this particular ammo. I can't actually recall. That's 2 holes, guys. Whether it can maintain that, I don't know. had to throw that last one out there. But so here you guys can see it's really windy out there, but at 100 yards, that really isn't making much of a difference. So you can go through and I can touch. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and 4, although there's a 5th one in there. So you can see how you can mark your shots, right, to kind of keep track of them. And then there's a little back button here. You can kind of undo it. And then if you mark this, I think this is the blink button, so I can see what I marked last, right? So if I hit 1 and then 2 and I want to blink, I can see my holes by taking away momentarily the hit markers. All right, so then I hit stop the recording over here. If I want to take a still image, I just hit that picture and it says image captured. So now I've taken an image of my group size. So I was doing really, really good. That'd have been pretty close to sub MOA until I did that last one. Again, that's just standard ball ammunition. So definitely at 100 yards, you know, this looks just the same as it would at 300 yards with this particular unit, keeping in mind that they have a more powerful unit that can go a mile or more in distance. So unlike a spotting scope, the further out you get, at 100 yards, 308 rounds, you can generally see them through a spotting scope. 200, 5.56, unless you're using a shoot and see, it'd be hard pressed to see a hole in a piece of paper at 200 yards with a spotting scope. 300 yards, you'd have to have a spotting scope I've never seen to be able to see a 5.56 hole in paper at 300 yards, and even a 30 caliber hole would be pretty darn tough unless you had a really, really high-end scope. So anyway, these target cameras give you a lot of flexibility. I would say that probably going forward, this truly is the future because these cameras have come down in price. We did get this camera from Scheels, and they sell these types of equipment. This type of equipment, they sell all sorts of accessories and things like that that you'll probably want to check out. But I do, again, think that this is probably the future because we've been playing with these cameras going back several years. We had Pelican cases that had really heavy metal cameras in them. We had an earlier version from the same company that was like a tube that you would just lay in front of your target, and it used a Wi-Fi connection. But over the years, they've gotten more affordable, more feature-rich, and they're becoming more useful. And you'll also see some of the more higher-end public outdoor ranges using camera systems like this, not like this, but similar to this, so you can actually see your target back at the shooting bench. So again, this definitely is the future, and those prices are coming down, making it more and more affordable. If you take the price of this and compare it to a halfway decent spotting scope, this is going to be a far more affordable option, believe it or not. Now, that's not taking into account an iPad, but you probably already have a smartphone. Most people do. So, you know, don't take into account the cost of the actual phone or iPad. Just the product itself is pretty darn cost effective. So the system you see here is $449.99. Call it 450 bucks. So again, if you compare that to the cost of a cheap spotting scope, you're getting much more functionality out of a system like this. Downside, it's battery operated. However, the batteries do last for quite some time. They will last an entire shooting session, generally speaking. So it's small, it's lightweight, comes with a nice portable package that's easy to take to the range and set it up. The only concern that I would have, because I've been using these downrange cameras for quite some time, various models and things like that, the only concern I have at public ranges is the fact that the people next to you may intentionally or unintentionally shoot your camera, so you do want to be careful about that if you shoot at a public range. But on a private range, you don't really have to worry about that. You can set it up, generally you want to set it up about 8 feet or so from the target with this particular camera. We got really, really good clarity with it and really sharp focus. If you start to get much closer than that, say 4 feet away, it'll be a little bit blurry, but you do want to purposely set it back from the target. I'll show you an image of the setup that we used for today's video in terms of where the camera is or was in relation to the actual target. So everything you need in the box, 450 bucks. We've been using things like, this is a new product from Primary Arms. This is part of the new Odyssey 223 line. This is a pair of binos, which has pretty typical magnification. It's 10 power magnification, and 22 caliber holes from a 5.56 in cardboard. I can tell you right now, even with binos, we're like, I can't really tell. That's why you shoot and see targets quite a bit, because it's really hard to see those holes at 100 yards. This changes the game in that regard. So is it worth the money? Absolutely. The particular company has been around making target cameras for quite some time. I had the app on my phone from a previous version of their camera systems that I purchased probably 4 or 5 years ago. And I think we may have even done a video on it. I have to go back in my library. I have 1,200 videos, not that great of a memory. So, but anyway, we've definitely shown these types of cameras in the past before. And so it's something I'll continue to use. If you guys have any questions, you can ask those questions down in the comments below. We will generally stick around for the first day or so and answer any questions you guys may have. Plus, many times you guys give us ideas for content for future videos by the comments that you make. So please make comments down below. Of course, like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support us here at the Military Arms channel so we can continue to bring you content like this, a great way to do that is to become part of our Patreon family. There is a link in the video description below. Swing by, check us out over on Rumble, just in case something bad happens here on YouTube. And also, right here on YouTube, you do have a little join button underneath the video player you're watching right now. Mash that join button, and you can support us right here on YouTube. You'll also notice there's a little tip button underneath the video player you're watching right now. You can tap that tip button. It's much like a super chat, and you can throw us a few bucks to help keep us going here on the Military Arms channel. Please swing by, check out Copper Custom. Check us out on Twitter. I think that's everything. Well, and of course, thank you for 15 years of support, and we will talk to you guys soon.